Okay, so let's take a look at the background of Android. Basically, it's a mobile operating system. It was not originally developed by Google. It was actually developed by a company called Android Inc. Google then purchased that company in 2005, and they didn't really do too much with it until recently. But it turned out to be a really good investment by Google since Android has become so popular and is really one of the more popular mobile operating systems today. It's based off the Linux 2.6 kernel, which is a good choice. I think some of the things that they got here for free that they didn't have to build is the driver model that has been proven to be stable and the security, which is really important to a mobile operating system. Android is open source. You can go out there and download the source code and look through it and modify it. You can put out your own version of Android OS if you wanted to. Some people already do that. There's a lot of different distributions that you can find for your phone. But I'll warn you, it is big. It's about 12 million lines of code. So if you're hunting to find a specific thing, good luck. It may take you a while to find what you're looking for. It really is a big project. The application layer, though, which is mainly what we're going to be concerned with, is written in Java. There's some C++ and C layers down below that interact with the Linux kernel, but everything is built above that we're going to be working with in Java, so we just really need to be familiar with Java. We talked about the Google market a little bit before, and it's a kind of a core thing about Android is that the Google market comes with the Android OS, and it allows you to find applications and distribute applications. Another very important concept in Android OS is the idea of being open. Basically, what this means, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later when we get into applications, is that everything, including what Google provides, is open and swappable. What this means is your phone dialer application, your home screen, all of the app that you would consider to be basic core functionality of the system, when the developer developed those, they didn't have any more tools than you did. So you can actually replace your dialer on the phone with your own version, your home screen with your own version. It's open for development. There's no special privileges by the OS maker. So it's a really key concept that I think is different than any other operating system to date. Another important thing to note about Android is that it supports a multitude of different devices. If you think about some of the other platforms like BlackBerry or iPhone, there's really one or two devices. There's not a huge number of devices out there because the hardware vendor is controlling the OS. In this case, Google is building this operating system, but they're letting all these vendors come up with their own hardware for it that meets a certain very loosely described standards. So there's a huge number of devices that are out there, which is going to affect you as a developer because you're going to need to make sure that you understand this so that you can understand the differences between the devices and code for those differences, especially when devices have different UIs and different resolutions. The other thing that you should be aware of is that Android 3.0 Honeycomb is coming out, and that'll be for tablet devices. So this is going to greatly affect some of the design principles that you're going to use when you build your application because you're going to perhaps consider that it might be used on a much bigger screen, used on a tablet.